start selling 8-packs, like bro packs.
Pro packs.
All right, Vin. Little round ball, a little outside of our comfort zone here, especially since it is July as of recording this video, and basketball season has been done for a couple weeks. But a lot is going on as far as basketball free agency, and let's just touch on a couple of those. I'm going to start off with topic number one. To kind of conclude last season was the Miami Heat winning the championship.
Yeah, the Miami Heat, they dominated Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City, they lost the first two to San Antonio, a great team, best team in the league. Then to win 4 straight against San Antonio,
Yeah.
then get buzzsawed by the Miami Heat.
Right, and they won the first game against the Heat, which is a big shock. And Vegas had the Oklahoma City as the favorite.
As well they should have.
Which, yeah, they should have. And then just to see LeBron really pick it up, and as much as, you know, we beat on LeBron, and I love beating on him and taking pride in his misery. I don't deny being a hater. He put together an incredible finals, and you know, pulled his team up, carried them, you know, on his back to a championship.
He had a 2009 A-Rod moment. He was unclutched his whole career,
Right.
and then he put together one playoff series, which culminated in a championship where he just could do no wrong.
Yep. I mean, great. So congrats to you guys down in Miami. I'm hoping this is just a one-time thing, and we can move on. But probably not, right? I mean, what did LeBron say? Not 5, not 6, not 7, something like that. It could happen, especially with the moves they've had over the past couple of weeks.
Right, because as Wade breaks down, they continue to add on other chips.
Mhm.
Ray Allen took less money to sign.
Yeah.
Rashard Lewis was a good player, just took less money to sign. Now you're not relying on like guys like Mike Bibby who are shot.
Right.
You've now got a guy like Ray Allen who, although he's just a specialist at this point of his career, he's a legit three-point shooter.
Oh yeah.
And Rashard Lewis, still at 32 years old-ish, is still a legit swingman.
Absolutely, especially if these guys are coming off the bench. You know, when you have to pull those big 3 off the court, if you can still hang tough and maybe even get a couple plus points out of those times, great. But so around the league, a lot more has been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, another one is the New Jersey Nets have moved over to Brooklyn. You know, they got the new black and white logo, the new shield. Prokhorov, they're super billionaire owners trying to throw money at everybody. They pick up Joe Johnson, and they're trying real hard to get Dwight Howard. Is that going to happen?
Big thing about Prokhorov is that he doesn't care about the luxury tax, doesn't care about the salary cap, so he's willing to overspend and go above the soft cap and pay whatever penalties. That's which is big for Nets fans.
Right.
And absolutely a huge move to Brooklyn. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'm a New York Knicks guy, right?
Right.
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. One of the things that's happened to me over the past decade has been just a public shaming and humiliation of my Knicks.
Right.
Starting with Isaiah Thomas. It's not just that they lose. If you lose, it's, you know, hey, you lose. Every team loses, right? Every team goes through tough stretches. You can't always have Patrick Ewing land in your lap in the lottery. But it's the way they've gone about it in an embarrassing way. They had, for a 5-year stretch during Isaiah's run, they had the highest payroll in the league.
Right.
And they were horrible.
Overpaying for these guys who nobody can remember their names now.
Right. So it's, you combine that embarrassing performance with that embarrassing management with the total shame of having Dolan as your owner, who just inherited all sorts of cash from daddy. You know, he's a cable vision guy. So the whole thing is embarrassment that the Knicks are creates a desire to possibly move over to being a Brooklyn Nets fan. I grew up in Brooklyn. And my excuse is, hey, I grew up in Brooklyn. And the Knicks have been such an embarrassment that loyalty is waning.
They haven't done anything to keep you as a fan. You know, that's really
They
what
haven't just been bad. They've been an embarrassment, and not an embarrassment from going like Charlotte 7-50, 7-60. They've been bad from the standpoint of they've been badly run.
Right. No, that's a very, very good point. And I could see a lot of people jumping ship, and Brooklyn doing really well there in Brooklyn.
Right.
Good for them.
Huge move.
You know, good for them. I'm not a Nets fan as it is, but hey, I'll be rooting for them versus the Knicks this year. I really will be. But speaking of the Knicks, so they've had a little bit of movement themselves.
No, I don't think the Knicks are going to get Dwight Howard.
Okay. Answer that question. Neither do I. He's going to end up with Houston or the Lakers. Just saying that. Moving on. Knicks, I guess not really necessarily with the movement, but looks like they're keeping Jeremy Lin. And, they're going to try to make that big 3 thing with them work with Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, and Jeremy Lin. And they brought in a couple veterans to help them out off the bench.
The Knicks are compiling some interesting chips, right? So, and I don't mean trade chips, I mean actual on-the-court chips. So, we'll call them interesting tools on the in your toolbox, right? Now you've got Tyson Chandler, who's a legit defender. You know that on FitToVig.com, Vig wrote about how the mainstream media was calling Chandler like the final piece of the puzzle, and the Knicks were paying him as the final piece of the puzzle when he's just a piece.
Right.
He's a defender. He was not a make max contract money kind of guy. He's not a scorer, right? He's not like a dominant defender. He's just a very good defender. Anyway, so to me, he was always a piece of the puzzle, not the final piece. So, Tyson Chandler, good defender. But the problem is he'd leave the court and all the defense would leave with him. Now they bring in Marcus Camby. Now you've got two centers who, when one goes out, your defensive presence is still there.
Right.
You're bringing in Jason Kidd, who's going to play backup point guard to Jeremy Lin, right? So if something goes down where Lin and Carmelo Anthony can't get on the same page because clearly they couldn't last year, you have Jason Kidd there as a good facilitator type of point guard.
Right.
So it's interesting chips to have the big three. Then you bring in a veteran like Kidd to play in the point and mentor Lin. Then you bring in a veteran center like Camby, who's also a defensive-minded center like Tyson Chandler is. Now all of a sudden the big three are supplemented with a lot more support.
Yeah, I think that support's going to help them, especially maybe get through to second round of the playoffs next season, which would be big. The tough problem's going to be obviously keeping up with the Heat.
And don't run into the Heat in the first round.
Well, yeah, that's the other buzzsaw that's going to come through you. So, I mean, hey, it's still a few months away, but it's something to look forward to with the Northeastern teams.
All right, man. Start doing some blogging?
Let's do it.